Hello. I hope you are well. So, I've been seeing a lot of Gibi ASMR 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. I don't know how many questions. Tag, challenge going around. And I thought that I would tag myself because I wanted to join in on the fun. Why let others have so much fun when I can't be a part of it? So, yeah, I'm in. Without further ado, let's see what we've got here. Question 1. I'm going to lose track. So, when was the first time you experienced ASMR? When I was a child. I don't know how old I was. Probably the youngest of 6, maybe 8, and I had a cat. The cat's name was Mick Mike. Like microphone plus mic. Mick Mike. I named it. And Mick Mike would always climb up on my shoulder when I was sitting in a chair or lounging on the couch and just purr in my ear. She'd do this weird thing where she'd like chew on my earlobes. Like, not like hard, but she'd try like gnaw on them, like lick them kind of. And it tickled the hell out of me. Like, I got super, and at the time I didn't know what it was, but I got super chills and tingles. But at the same time, I kind of enjoyed it. And that's really the only time I ever got ASMR as a kid. It wasn't until I found it on YouTube that it all came back to me. And then I thought back, and occasionally during like recess, or if I had a friend like whisper in my ear like a secret, I'd always enjoy the feeling of the whisper in my ear. And really, it wasn't until I was 18 or 19 that I finally got into the YouTube ASMR community. I thought back on that like, wow, it's my cats chewing on my earlobes, my friends whispering in my ears. Question 2. When was the first time you watched ASMR on YouTube? Also, I'm going to tag, I'm going to like link a lot of the references to the uploads that I talk about. I can link them below. Check them out. But, when was the first time you watched ASMR on YouTube? Whisper Crystal, all the way. I know that she was a lot of people's first ASMR experience. And I always saw her as more of a whisperer. Like when I first listened to ASMR, I was trying to find like hypnosis videos on YouTube. I wasn't trying to find ASMR. I happened across it and changed my life. But yeah, I watched a couple like self-hypnosis, like the swirls, and that came to kind of qualify as ASMR in a way. But then I found Whisper Crystal, and I realized there's people that just whisper on camera, tell stories and roleplay. But I think the first one of hers that I watched was, I don't recall the name, but I will find it for you. But it's like you're laying in a field and she's talking about how the clouds are just flowing overhead, and she describes the scenery and the trees and the wind. And I think another early ASMR video that I watched was Amal's Habit. She did this, I think it was like an unboxing or like a makeup haul, and man, that was a while ago. And I like the sound of how she tapped on the makeup, but also the camera made this sound. I don't know if it was the camcorder that she was using, but it would be like a white noise buzz, and occasionally it would click, and it would just put me to sleep every single time. So Whisper Crystal and Amal are two of my originals, my OGs. Yeah, what's next? What's your favorite unintentional ASMR video? I really don't watch a lot of unintentional. I like my ASMR intentional because I feel like I like to be in control of what I'm hearing. Or I don't know if that's part of it, but I just don't really get it. But occasionally, ever since I've been into ASMR for years now, I'll be watching a TV show, and it could be like the most action-packed, like Marvel or something, like really loud and in your face, like super action sequences. And if somebody even makes the hint of a whisper, I don't care what's going on, I'll just be like, oh, I just got chills. But really, I don't have any favorite unintentional ASMR videos per se, but I will tell you, I cannot cash a check at the bank or even go up to a teller without getting super ASMR anymore. It like kills me. I'll head downtown, try to make a payment on my car, and the cashier or the teller will just be, clicking the pen, signing the check, or trying to slide the card. It's interesting. Name the last 5 ASMRtists that you watched. I like how that's like a word now. Well, there's Blackmail ASMR. I watch him every day when I'm clocking out for work, because I program and work from home, so I can kind of watch anything I want as I'm working, which is really nice. I listen to ASMR usually the last 2 to 3 hours of the day when I'm trying to wind down. But Blackmail ASMR has this upload where it's called Quitting My Job ASMR, where he roleplays as your boss, and he's no, sorry, I have it totally upside down. He roleplays as your employee, and you're the boss. So it's kind of an interesting take on it. And he just says how sick he is of your company, and he's tired of this and that, and he's so happy to quit. And I usually play it when I have like half an hour left. And I'll just sit and watch the timer and be like, oh, I'm so excited to clock out of work. So that's number 1. TR DeWello, if I said that right. Not only is he one of the most imaginative creators, but he's got a way about him that just, I tingle like crazy. And he has a lot of interesting Dr. Andrew Michaels role plays that he does. He has a great voice, and he's a character. He cracks me up. Bella ASMR, she's finally back. She just uploaded sort of a update, like I've been gone, I'm back, but she's back finally. She was a really good for a long time, it was the only ASMR upload I would listen to. It was like my go-to ASMR. It was like you're drunk at a party and your friend's painting your face as a prank, like a drunk prank friend ASMR. And I'd always pretend that I was drunk and passed out, because I was like, when I have gotten drunk and passed out at parties, I slept like a rock. And I would even listen to ASMR when I was drunk, passed out, and it still worked. But that, I don't know, that honestly brought back a lot of fond memories of my party days. When I was like 20, 21, 22. I don't really drink that much anymore. That's 3. Here, let me look at my history, actually. I'm really bad with names. But, Articulate Design ASMR, I just, got into his channel, but I can tell that he puts a lot of work into his production quality, and it really shows. And I think he has a slight accent, and I like that a lot. I can't tell you where he's from or what accent it is. I have no idea. So he's number 4, and then hang on. So here I can make some tingles for you. Tapping on my phone. You think I would know how to work YouTube or watch it so often? History. Here we go. Oh, ASMR Power of Sound. That's right. I was just talking about him in my last upload. And what's interesting about his uploads are there's absolutely no white noise. It's like pitch silent. And I'm trying my hardest to emulate that in my own ASMR. I'm trying to soundproof this room. But when he uploads, it's like you can't tell if you've clicked on the video and it's already playing when you have your headphones on. It's that good. So he's great. So that is the 5, and I lost my list. Hang on, sorry, one second. So I was on, what is your favorite ASMR trigger to listen to? Well, I really like, and this isn't really necessarily a trigger, but, it is, but like, I've noticed I've been listening to a lot of male ASMR versus female ASMR, and I don't know if it's because I've listened to a lot of, like, the first 2-3 years, I only listened to female ASMRists, and then I got into male ASMR. It kind of, like, stuck with me. Like, I listen to both, but, I don't know, the male voice is my favorite ASMR trigger. And, but, that's not really fair. Sounds, to be in particular, tapping's good. I know that's what everyone else says. It's a very cliche answer, but I don't care. Tapping sounds like the sound of the rain. So, yeah, kind of like that. What is your least favorite trigger to listen to and do it? Is this like a dare now, like truth or dare? I'm not gonna do it. Okay. Like that, like the really, really mouthy tongue clunking. Sounds like a horse walking over a road or something though. And I like eating sounds. I like mouth sounds, but not quite that one. So there you have it. Do you use ASMR to relax or fall asleep? Well, obviously. But I listen to it more than I should. Or I don't think there's really an amount you should be, but I listen to it a lot. Ever since I've been programming, that's like all I do is program and listen to ASMR. I go in the mornings, I'll listen to like chill wave or like EDM or like programmer hacker music, just to get me all hyped up or charged up for the day. And then I'll watch some podcasts like H3 or the H3 podcast. Just a couple, I try to keep up on the whole what the hell is happening on YouTube thing, because nobody ever knows. But and then I'll listen to ASMR as I read and sleep. So I listen to it half the day probably. I can actually tell you here, they YouTube rolled out this thing that there's a thing on YouTube now that tells you timed watched. So today, if you can see this, so 5 hours and 46 minutes today. Yesterday was 6 hours and 33 minutes. The past week, 53 hours and 35 minutes. Daily average, 7 hours and 39 minutes. That's ridiculous. I mean, that's counting all of YouTube, but I'm blown away by that. There's a lot of YouTube. Okay, anyways. What is your bedtime routine? Well, when I decide it's time for bed, I make some tea. Usually, if I'm heading to sleep, chamomile, or sweet dreams, or like rose hip. I got a lot of tea. I drink tea like I'm an Englishman or something. I'm German, but in Dutch. But I drink tea like I'm Ozzy Osbourne. I think that's the reason he's alive still. It's because he's a tea drinker. So I'm gonna make some of that. And yoga. I've gotten into yoga this last month, and oh my god, it's amazing. It makes you feel so much more like at peace. And I know people think it's some sort of just exercise routine, but no, I think it's like a spiritual thing, because ever since I've been doing it, I just feel like more in control of myself and my feelings. I feel more empowered. And I do it in the morning and at night if I'm not too tired. And I have it's like a massage bed, but it's kind of a pad that you just lay down on the couch on, and it just like massages your back. And I got the same one for your feet. So occasionally I'll do a round of that. And I have this heavy, it looks like a sandbag, and it kind of sits around the shoulders, and it's filled with herbs, and you heat it up in the microwave for like, I don't know, a couple minutes, and it like, I guess the essential oils and the herbs inside there kind of heat up, and they aromiate, if that's a word. Their aroma spreads. Not a word for that, but so those are a couple of my it's time for bed, I'm gonna go to sleep rituals type of deals. What is your favorite treat? Okay, I got ahead of myself. Hang on. How long does it take you to make a video? Well, usually under an hour, and then it takes me a while to, I guess if you're not counting like having to set up, it honestly depends. I just kind of toss on this coat because it's cold in here. It's been raining and snowing outside like crazy. Have you ever gotten tingles from your own videos? No, not really. I hardly ever watch my own stuff. I'm honestly kind of self-conscious about it. Like, I don't really like watching myself on camera. Kind of like Johnny Depp. But I don't live on an island, and I'm not the Candyman. Or Captain Sparrow. Or an actor. Unfortunately. But, yeah, I've gotten like pseudo-tingles. Like, I feel like I've kind of gotten somewhat like the idea that I'm having ASMR from my own uploads. And there's been a couple ones where I certainly have gotten maybe. I don't know, it's just not the best. I like to watch other people's stuff more than my own. But like a couple where I massage the ears on my 3DO, or I put on gloves, and I like the more noisier, louder ones. Those usually kind of work for me, but like I said, I'd much rather forget a lot of my old uploads exist, but you know, I don't want to erase them. It's history for me. Like a live journal. As I'm sure like a lot of other longtime ASMRists can kind of see themselves through time. It's always fun. I lost track of what question I was on when my camera died. Let's see. Do you watch your own videos? No, I just answered that. No, not really. Sorry. What software do you use to edit? Adobe Premiere, as of now. I used to use iMovie, but as you might know, my iMac just ate it like 3-4 months ago, and it served me loyally for 6 years, and I used iMovie. And the Adobe Premiere, I actually got it as a part of my job, because my employer, he gave us all access to the cloud, and we get all the Adobe programs, which is nice, but I don't even know how to use half of them. But Premiere's good. It's a bit complicated. It's got a lot of options I don't use, and I'm still trying to learn how to use it. But it gets the job done. And I think I'm going to really sit down and try to teach myself like more techniques, so that way I can make more fun. I know there's a lot you can do with it. Like, you can make movies with it. But for now, it's doing pretty good. I like it a lot. What time of day do you film? Usually, like in the afternoon, evening, like anywhere from like earliest is 6 to latest is 9 or 10. I used to film in the dead of night. Like, I want to film anytime past 2, and this is when I lived at my old townhouse. And you know, I'd hear people walking I lived in the corner a lot, so I didn't have any like upstairs neighbors, but I'd still hear people outside. Plus, I worked swing shifts in graveyards, and it'd be like, I'd be up anyway, so I may as well make ASMR. And I used to record a lot back then because with the morning job, your hours are a more conventional human, I guess. And I like it a lot more, but I film like in the evenings when it's quieter, and it's been raining and snowing outside like crazy, and it's been good for me because it affects traffic. There's not a lot of people driving by or walking by. No more dogs because they're all inside, hopefully. Yeah, in the summer it's just constantly people outside, even at like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. I couldn't take it, but it's nice now. What is your favorite video that you've made? I do have a couple, actually. A couple years ago, I sat down and I just wanted to film like a sci-fi roleplay. I didn't write any scripts. I didn't really plan it out in my head other than this would be like a futuristic, fun sci-fi roleplay. So I came up with The Robot Factory. And it's online still, you can check it out. But it's an old one. So it's this like a robot mechanic shop, and I came up with a couple characters. I played Clark, who was the clerk, Clark the clerk, and he like answered the phone, and he hated his job. It's kind of like the Toby Flenderson of the future or something. And then Jonesy was the engineer. He was the one that took up a majority of the video, and the whole like moral of the story, or premiere of the story, was Clark had to call Jonesy out to work, but he was already at the bar because it was like a Sunday night, and he was getting fucked up for the weekend. But they said, we don't have any other engineers, you have to come into work. So he shrugged his shoulders, and he came back into work, and I was drunk. Like, I had to play the part, so I was drinking while I was, on camera. And, oh man, this creativity, just imagination just, like, flowed out of me. Just, I don't know where it came from. And I think it turned out really good. And I had this other one, it's like a vampire roleplay. And I had my wife, who at the time was my girlfriend. I had her wake up at like 6 in the morning. I had just come home from my graveyard shift job, and my mind was like swimming with ideas. Like, I gotta do vampire ASMR. And I came up with a story for that one as well, kind of a plot. Might actually make it into a screenplay, I don't know, maybe. Could I use it? But, yeah, that was a lot of fun. I want to do more like imaginative, like fun, creative role plays like that. And it's fun. It's like I have a lot of imagination, but I just need to expound on it. Have one of your videos had an unexpected negative fan reaction? Not that I know of. Maybe there was one upload that I did, and it was called Shout Out to the ASMR Cheddar Mamas. And I was this ASMR thug. I think it was ASMR thug. Shout out to the Cheddar Mamas. And I intended to make it into like a series, but I didn't ever make it. And I made it because I had a dear friend of mine that had passed away at the time, like maybe a couple months afterwards, anyways. And he was a rapper, and he had this character named 3Pac, where he just, it's Tupac, but like 3Pac. And he did like comedy sketches, and all of his songs were so funny and so good too. He was talented. And after he passed away, I kind of wanted to honor him with one of my uploads. And so it kind of pulled off the whole, like, I'm a thug, I know how to rap. And I thought it was funny, but there's a couple people that comment on it like, oh, this is weird, I don't understand it. But frankly, have you seen most of the ASMR on YouTube? If you look hard enough, that was like child's play. But it was a lot of fun, and I think I was wearing this exact same jacket during the video too. And I had my old green screen, which at the time was just like a teal sheet. It wasn't even an actual green screen. Like, I got it at IKEA, for crying out loud. It wasn't even like bluish, it wasn't green. But I had this little like wall, like this alleyway, and it looked all crappy, but it turned out pretty funny. And I'm all saying shit like, oh, shout out to the ASMR Cheddar Mamas, like Jenna Whispering and Heather Feather, they're the OGs. They started this game. Oh man, it was fun. So, what videos of yours do you think didn't get the love they deserved? Kind of a lot of them, honestly. I mean, if I had it my way, I'd be getting like a lot more views and a lot more subscribers, but, you know, in time. I don't want to rant about YouTube and the whole, like, demonetizing ASMR channels and shit, but I feel like us small guys, I feel like a lot of my uploads are not getting out to the people, and I feel like I don't deserve it because I haven't been that consistent, and I've been watching a lot of, like, learn how to YouTube more, and, like, learning tips and tricks of how to make your channel work, and it just came down to one thing. It said, you have to be consistent. You have to constantly upload, and you'll get core subscribers. Like, I got a few of them, you know, I got people that show up on every upload. We talk all the time, but I don't know. YouTube sucks, and it's not just me. It's like every niche. It's not just the ASMR world, but every single niche from, esports to Twitch players to dads wanting to fix things in their garage, or tech channels, or coding channels. Whatnot. Everybody's feeling it. YouTube can be a bitch. So I feel like a lot of my stuff, like my only video that actually went semi-viral was the Office ASMR, where I was like Dwight, and he's like, there's an egg on your head and the yolk is running down. And I knew that it was Office, and everybody would like ASMR plus Office, but I don't know, like that one did really good. But everyone else, I'm lucky to get over like 1,000 views, and not to be like complain but I'll just keep working on it. That's all that matters. That's all I can do. I mean, like, YouTube's this massive algorithm, and I've heard even the engineers don't know how it works. So the people that work at Google, they are like, we've created the monster, and we'll just keep working on it. We'll just keep programming. I don't know what to tell you at this point. What's something the audience does not know about the behind the scenes of your channel? Well, if you want to look behind the scenes, we've got ourselves a window right here. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do that. Well, behind the scenes. So my roommate is my wife's friend, and she's a tattoo artist. And her room is just across the wall over. And she actually did. Just like show and tell now. Wait, I gotta quietly unzip this. I don't want to make too much noise. She did tattoo this. Is it upside down? I don't know if you can see, but it's a poison apple. So she did that, and I have a lot of other tattoos as well. I think this is something, maybe some people have seen them, but I've never really shown them off before. But just a couple I've got. Ooh, this one's actually new. I've had this one maybe like a month now, a couple months. This artist that lives in Poland on Instagram, like, drew up like a ton of skulls, and that's her like theme. That's her thing, is she draws skulls and bones and all that jazz. And so sorry, I'm totally ahead of myself right now. Yeah, I saw this, and like, this is really cool because it's like the skull's the ocean, and there's an island with the palm trees, and the ocean water's like spilling out of its eyeballs, and she called it Dreams Die. I'm like, wow, that's interesting, because some dreams do die, and for good reason. I don't know. I mean, I feel like a tattoo should mean something, even though like 6 of my 7 don't hardly mean anything at all, besides like that one. But yeah, I'm gonna put this back on. I'm cold. And my mom-in-law is in the TV room right down the hall, and she's usually watching. She's seen everything on Netflix, so she's moved on to like Hulu, and then on to Amazon Prime, and then HBO, and practically everything else. And now she's on like Fox FX. She can't find a show she hasn't seen. So she's usually watching a lot of TV shows, but I've got a mattress, and I've got like a blanket over the mattress and the door, trying to block her out. So, what is the most absurd request you received from a fan? I don't know. I don't think I've been asked to do anything too weird, but there was, I guess when I was uploading when I lived at my old townhouse, there was a constant request to strike matches and then put them out. And I didn't understand that. And everybody wanted me to do it. And I noticed there's like, it was kind of like an epidemic. People kept saying, oh, I strike a match and then throw it in the glass. It sounds so relaxing. And I started thinking about it. I'm like, do these people want me to burn my house down or something? So I was like, what? So I did it. I did a couple of them, and they seemed to enjoy it. And I don't know, that's really the only one that comes to mind. I've done some pretty mundane, boring things on my channel, and some fun ones too. I'm hoping some more fun ones pretty soon as well. Do your friends and family know you make ASMR videos? Yeah, practically everybody that's close to me knows that I'm into ASMR. I don't think I really told anybody up until like after a year, and then my brother, I found out that he watches ASMR too, and we like watched a lot of the same people, so we both were watching like all the same, like a lot of the same people. Like he knew who like Heather Feather was, and like Ephemeral Rift, and I'm like, you know Uncle Lee, hell yeah. And that was pretty cool. But I finally had to sit down and like explain it to my dad, because when I first made my first uploads, it was at his house. I lived with him and my stepmom at the time. And he was like, so you're eating strawberries and you upload it to YouTube and then people on the internet watch it. Whatever, I guess, that's cool. Keep it up, son. So he took it pretty well. My mom thought it was the coolest thing. Actually, like, recall when I told her it was on Christmas. We had the annual family Christmas thing, and I'm like, everybody, that was kind of my coming out party of ASMR. I was like, everybody, I make ASMR. And yeah, I had a couple brothers thought it was weird, and like my other brother thought it was pretty cool. And in time, and I was just on the news hearing I was on my local news channel. No big deal, whatever. But a lot of my friends were like, hey, I listen to that stuff all the time. And they didn't like judge me or anything. Everybody kind of understood or had already heard about it. So yeah, practically everybody knows. Even my boss. In fact, during the interview, I talked about it for like a good 10 minutes or something. We talked about ASMR, and I think he saw that I was like knowledgeable at the internet and like the fads and the cultures, aside from my programming, of course. But I got the job, so that was cool. And here I am. Have you ever been recognized in public? Well, no. I mean, not directly from YouTube, but my neighbor across the street saw that same news segment, here on KSL 5, the local Utah channel. And a couple days after it came out, I see him mowing his lawn, and he runs over to me. You're famous. I didn't know. I can't believe that was you. I live across the street from a rock star. He was really hyped up about it. I'm like, whoa, okay, slow down. I was really flattered, and he thought it was the coolest thing. But, it's a local TV show. It was on for like a couple minutes. It was a really small clip. And like, our TV channel had just been dropped from DirecTV or Comcast or whatnot, so not a lot of people even got to see it. But, a few people did. It was fun. So, what inspires your video ideas? Well, I'm pretty spontaneous. Like, I'll come up with something and I'll think, oh, I should make an ASMR version of that. Like, what's the craziest thing you can make? Or I'll find something that resembles ASMR, like the Office one, where Dwight was obviously whispering. I'm like, that should be like a half-hour ASMR thing. That should exist. So really, it needs to like impress me from an objective point of view, where I feel like this should be on YouTube. This should exist. And I try to be original. I don't want to do the same thing that a lot of people are doing, as I sit here and do the exact same thing everybody's doing. Like the whole Gibi ASMR challenge. Sorry, my camera's acting crazy. But I don't know. I think it's fun. I try to come up with, like, that's enough. So, a couple more questions. Where do you find yourself spending the most time online? Well, if you saw my phone earlier, YouTube all the way. Facebook, I hate Facebook. I love Mark Zuckerberg, and I'm a huge fan of the social network and like his rise to fame and success. And he was a lot of the reason I went into coding in the first place. I watched the Social Network movie and I was like, oh, programmers are fucking awesome. I want to be one. I mean, I always loved computers and the internet, but sorry, what was the question? Yeah, okay. You know, I get sidetracked so easily when it's just me rambling. I think it's kind of fun though. I hope you do too. But yeah, Facebook. Nobody has anything to say ever. And I have like 800 friends. And I could easily erase like 650 of them and probably be a lot happier. In fact, I'll probably do that tomorrow. I feel like it's a waste of time. The whole app's just... And that's where I hear about like the local like events or the current news. But really, news sucks. Like I'll just like scroll down my newsfeed and be like, I don't care, this makes me upset. Only occasionally will I see something that makes me happy, be like a meme. But there's Tumblr for that, so I really want to switch up my social media. But the trick is, I'm an addict. I can't not get on Facebook because everybody knows on there. And I'm tied to my friends and family, and like everybody messages me. But I've been wanting to be more, I think I want to get more on Tumblr, because Tumblr, you're like anonymous. Like everybody's got like a screen name and an avatar, and I like that a lot more because, you know, you can say anything you want. You know, Tumblr was like the old internet where you were advised against using your real name. Now if you don't do it, it's like you have to use your real name and it has to be like legit. So yeah, social media sites, and I actually am on a lot of programmer forums and blogs, because I guess that's like a part of my job. I think where I spend a vast majority of my time online, a local host 3000. Yep. And I think there's one more question. Yeah, unless I might have skipped a couple, and I'm sorry if I did. What advice would you give someone who wanted to make their own ASMR content? Don't give up. Constantly upload, and quit being so hard on yourself about quality. Like, that's my biggest problem, is I gotta wait till everything's perfect to even record or do anything for this matter. I was gonna talk about this in my next ASMR podcast, but it's like I don't think there will ever be a perfect time to do ASMR. Or you can't just wait for the surroundings, like someone's walking outside the hallway. Oh well, I'm gonna record anyway, you know. And really, everybody started with 0 subscribers and 0 views. I don't care if you're ASMR Darling or Gentle Whispering or Uncle E or whoever, you know. It can be. Everybody started somewhere, and that's really important to keep in mind in that first grind where you're not getting anything. And I'm kind of going through that right now as well. But even the big guys had to fight tooth and nail, and just keep fighting tooth and nail and putting out content. And listen, I can't stress this enough, listen to what your audience wants. Your subscribers will comment, and like, you can network with them, talk to them personally. They're your friends. They could have subscribed and they decided to, and they could have said no. That's like The Hitch or something. I quote the funniest movies. But, you know, try to be more interactive and like engage your audience. That's some advice I could totally take. All of this is, but YouTube is an ugly place. Let's just be honest. But it's a magical place. Like Game of Thrones, you know, Westeros or Essos. It's wild out there, but it is rewarding if you play your cards right. And those cards are consistency and, you know, hard work, because it's tough. It's, you know what I mean? Yeah, and us ASMR people, I saw some comment, it's like, you ASMR people are so lazy. All you do is sit on camera and record and like put it on YouTube and you get paid. I'm like, well, a lot of us aren't getting paid. And where are your videos? Where's your YouTube channel, huh? So really, don't take any shit from nobody. And love who you love and be with who you want to be. That is the Michael Scott guarantee. So I just got a couple more minutes left on my memory card, so I'm going to tag 5 other people. Rapunzel ASMR, Bella ASMR, welcome back. TR Duello, I don't know if you've already been tagged or not, but here you go. Blackmail ASMR, and let's think one more. And The Power of Sound. I know you've been tagged, I've seen a couple of them. So there you have it. And hope you had fun and you learned more about me. I'll see you again soon.